Alright, if you are in the hemp industry, specifically if you're a B2B company or you're a hemp wholesaler in general, or just related in this industry in general, this will be really, really helpful for you to watch. I recommend that you stay until the end. This is going to go over exactly how we took this hemp wholesaler from $64,000 to $119,000 in just 30 days time with a guarantee. So here's exactly how we made them a 185% increase to revenue, and you can see a sneak peek of their revenue shortly. So this is a back end of their system where you can see that $120,000 was pretty much reached in the last 30 days. And I'm going to go over this in more detail later on in the video, but I'm not going to be holding back anything. I'm going to open the curtains for you to see and look behind that you can apply yourself. But this is exactly how we built them, the B2B system, what that system looks like, the emails that we sent out, and the list growth. So you can get a better idea of exactly how we got these results and you can get it for yourself. So here's what I'm going to cover, just so you know what your time is being spent on. I'm going to go over their challenges, their situation when we got started with them versus their goals, our strategy coming into it, and exactly what our goals were, our pricing and offer, so you know what their ROI was from our services and how we did it, then our solutions to their obstacles and challenges. Then above and beyond that, I'm even going to be showing you the key changes that shifted their revenue, the results of those key changes, and then of course how you can do it too, which is the most important part of this video. So it's going to be completely value based, and I promise you will get a lot out of this. So just to jump into it with their challenges and situation, this is what we were walking into. So their current situation when we got started was they had no B2B email marketing at all. They didn't understand the value of it. They had no list growth. They had very small lead lists to target as well. They did not have a B2B existing system in place. They also had to do the manual labor of calling their leads, following up with them, and relying on their sales teams to get these sales. They were also not communicating very efficiently with their B2B clients that they already had, or their previous leads. And apart from that, they were also relying completely on organic purchases. They were not being very aggressive with their approach, and that obviously meant that their revenue was not reliable. Then we went ahead and we kind of focused on a few other situations, which was number one, they were not retargeting or following up with their leads. They also were taking way too long to maintain those relationships. It was taking way too much labor, and their client return rate was very low. So these were the challenges we were facing immediately. And if any of that sounds familiar, or you're facing even one of those many problems, then the next part is going to be really, really valuable for you. So our solution and approach to all of this was a combination of things. We, first of all, focused on building out a B2B based sending strategy so that their sending was a little bit more targeted. And most importantly, we built out a B2B facing flows. Then above and beyond that, which they were really lacking, was we built out a B2B streamlined system for them that was integrated and measurable so that they didn't have to rely on their team. And there was no missing piece to the streamlined and efficiency of getting started with them as a wholesaler. Then above and beyond that, we improved their overall messaging, their retargeting and value. We also increased and grew their audience size. So we did the list growth for them, and with them not being able to run ads, this was incredibly valuable. Then above and beyond that, we increased the return and spending amount per purchase. So as you can imagine, very, very valuable aspects that we increased for them, and that's how we got these results. So to jump into it specifically, here is their front end facing website, and this is specifically the wholesale side. So they have a B2C and B2B side. This specifically is on WordPress, which I recommend that you host your front end facing for the wholesale. And when people want to get started with them, of course, they have to fill out a form and get approved. So when you go through this process, it opens up a pop-up, and then they give all the information. Of course, once you fill this out and you select your interests specifically, we can send very personalized information for that. So make sure that your form looks somewhat similar to this, because it will be valuable, and it leads into the next part of everything. So just to show you exactly what the back end looks like, and the details of how we achieve that, you can see here, this is the fresh back end. I'll refresh it, but this is the last 30 days of working with them, and you can see 185% increase to their revenue, and 79% of that, so $94,000 of that alone came down to the system that we built out for them. So again, very, very valuable, and you can see it comes down to the onboarding flow, the thank you flow, and the browse flow. So I'm going to give you an idea of exactly what that looks like, but of course there is above and beyond a few other steps that I want to show you. And their list size is not big at all. As you can see, this flow specifically only went to 109 people, and yet we generated $55,000 from it alone. So with that being said, you can see the kind of lists that we built out for them. This is the overall sending strategy. What we did for them is we broke down their sending into different categories based on their product offering. So anyone who is interested in flowers, we obviously categorize that. Anyone who is interested in tropical products, vice versa, etc., etc. So what we did is now we can cross-sell, and we can also target people very specifically. Now the exact campaigns that we're sending out to them, I'm going to show you a different company example, but this is a company that we've worked with as well, and you can see the kind of B2B emails that we're sending are very simple as well. So when you're doing your B2B emails, the B2B that you're reaching out to, they don't have a lot of time to read, so you need to make it efficient and you need to make it quality. So when we're doing a product promotion, for example, what we're doing is we're sending something very simple, where the design is incredible, the product speaks for itself, and then you have a very simple call to action, or you lead them to either a form or the shop button. So your process would be very different based on where you lead your customers. Now, in terms of how we're actually getting new customers to them, this is our outreach flow, which you can easily build out yourself. So this is obviously when anyone shows any interest, or these are to the cold leads that we have personally generated and done the labor of getting their information. What we do is we wanted to send them an email, and we actually ask them an inquiry about their current company. We send an email something along the lines of, hey, we know that you're in this industry. We know that finding the best pricing, finding the best products is important to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So here is what we're offering. Here's what we do, etc., etc. And then you build up a follow-up sequence for them. So this is what we put into place for this company, and it has worked incredibly well. So this now generates new customers to lead through to the form, and then once they show interest, we lead them to the form, they fill out the form, and then we send them the next flow. The next flow is for people who have filled out the form and they have been vetted and approved. So you obviously want qualified leads coming through your funnel, and that is why we have this form specifically. So once they fill out the form, we have their information and we know what their company is about, and we have their registration and their interests involved. Then we know how to target them more specifically. So we send out emails saying, hey, you just got approved, here is the process, and here's how you can place your order, making it very streamlined for them, making it as simple as possible, and removing the need to call and follow up with leads constantly. Instead, what they're doing is getting an automated sequence that gets them these kind of touch points, and it tells them how to place an order. So it eliminates any additional steps that they have to make, because it is frustrating for someone to get a call and then they have to figure it out, they have to find the time to go and do this. Whereas if they get an email with a very simple step-by-step process, it eliminates the entirety of the difficulty of the process. So this is how we've been getting incredible results. And again, as you can see from the back end, this flow alone is generating a passive $55,000, and this is just in the last 2 weeks of implementing it correctly. So you can see from May 6th until May 23rd, we didn't even implement or finalize this flow, and then from May 23rd onwards, we finalized that flow, and you can see the amount that it's building in terms of momentum. So extremely valuable there. Now, in general, this is our overall B2B strategy that you can take a screenshot of. What we focus on is flows, campaigns, segmentation, and of course, lead generation. This is everything that we've done for them. And of course, we try to make it as valuable as possible. So this is a very general idea of how we did these exact steps, and hopefully it has helped you kind of better understand it. But from my perspective, we wouldn't have been able to get these results had we not built out a B2B sending system, the flows, and a system in general. So make sure that you are focusing on that, because that is how we got these results. Now, if you want to find out more about how you can do this for yourself, I would recommend booking a free audit. So I'm trying to give you as much value as possible and leave the ball in your court for if you want to have a further conversation with my team and I. But what we will go ahead and do is, if you book in that free audit today, I'm going to go ahead and personally put together an audit going over your company and your current marketing and show you where we can improve it, or rather where you can improve it yourself and send it over to your team for them to put into the steps. So first of all, here are the reasons why you should book in this free audit. First of all, if you want to scale your revenue. Second of all, if you're stagnating currently. Third of all, if you have similar problems. And lastly, if you obviously want solutions and growth, which I'm sure we all want. So in this specifically, we will run over your marketing, run over your products, and give you an exact strategy personalized to your product and your system currently. If that sounds good to you, then go ahead and book this free audit. I'm going to leave a link below this video. But if you want to go ahead and do that, please, I guarantee it will generate your results. Now, above and beyond that, if at some point you do see the value in this, having a one-on-one conversation, then book a call with me as well. You can find that on the website. But for now, I want to leave you with this value, and hopefully you can take away from it and apply it yourself. Thanks.